So, I was looking for a short game to platinum while I continued my slow progress toward Alan Wake's platinum trophy, my playthrough of which you can watch here on my channel, as well as the grind that is Elden Ring. I was scrolling through the store one day and saw that the Pixel remaster for the original Final Fantasy was on sale for like 99 cents. I've never played a Final Fantasy game before, so I figured that this would be a good place to get into the series, so I bought it and started my journey. I launched the game and it had me pick my characters. I chose the warrior, the monk, the white mage, and the black mage, and gave them proper names befitting of the legendary warriors of light. Jerry, Kevin, Bobby, and Steve. With that out of the way, I continued on and found myself in the town of Cornelia. After a brief conversation with the king, I learned that his daughter had been kidnapped by a knight named Garland. With that in mind, I set out to save her, but not before stopping in the town to get weapons and spell from my party, who had absolutely nothing for some reason. I headed north while fighting a few monsters and leveling up, and soon came upon the Chaos Shrine, where Garland was waiting with the princess. After a tough battle, I defeated Garland and returned to the king with the princess, who then gave me a lute as a token of appreciation. The king then gave an order to quickly finish repairs on the bridge leading to the rest of the world, which I needed to access in order to find and restore the 4 elemental crystals. I crossed the bridge, which netted me my first trophy, and began exploring, quickly finding a cave housing the witch Matoya. Matoya informed me that she was missing her crystal eye and couldn't work without it. I left her cave and continued exploring, leveling up even more, and eventually getting the trophies for completing 10% of the bestiary entries and for defeating 100 monsters. I eventually found my way to the town of Pravoka, where I would be able to buy new equipment and spells for my party. This town also had a problem with pirates, so doing what I do best, I swiftly dealt with them. The pirates then give me their boat, which allows me to travel to previously unreachable locations. I then took the boat to the southern continent where I found the elf village Elfheim, again being able to purchase new equipment and spells. There, I learn about the elf prince who has been under a curse of the dark elf Astos for several years and cannot wake up. I also learned that Matoya, the witch from earlier, can make a potion to wake him up, so I need to find her crystal eye. After some more exploring, I found the dwarven caves under Mount Juragar, where I obtain a trophy for collecting 10,000 gil, the game's currency. I find a blacksmith who says that if I can bring him some adamantite ore, he can make me an extremely powerful sword. I also find a dwarf trying to build a canal, but can't without nitro powder, which I previously learned is in a locked room inside the castle at Cornelia. To get in the door, I need a key, which the sleeping elf prince has, so I set out to find Astos, who I learned has Matoya's eye. The moment this string of fetch quests clicked in my brain was super satisfying, because the game just gave me the pieces and let me solve the puzzle. While trying to find Astos, I stumble upon the Marsh Cave, where I earned a trophy for defeating 300 monsters and find a crown. Eventually, after obtaining the trophy for defeating 500 monsters, I find the Western Keep, where a king sits on a throne. I give him the crown and he reveals himself to be none other than Astos, the Dark Elf King. I proceed to get curb stomped by him before narrowly squeaking out the win and recover Matoya's eye. I return it to her and get the potion, which I bring to the elf prince to acquire the mystic key. I then go and open everything I found to be locked by the mystic key and earn the trophy for opening 10% of the chests in the game, as well as stronger weapons and armor for my party, and the nitro powder needed by the dwarves. I bring it to them and they blast a hole beneath the ocean, crumbling the land above and opening a space for my boat to move out into the ocean. I cross the ocean and find a town named Melmond, which is suffering from a blight caused by the Earth Crystal not having energy. I also earn a trophy for gaining 50,000 gil. I then come across the Cavern of Earth, where the Earth Crystal is supposed to be, but all I find is some vampire whom I beat pretty easily in a fight, obtaining a star ruby and finding a stone slab blocking my way forward. I keep exploring and find the giant's cave, in which a giant eats the star ruby I got from the vampire and opens up a path to the sage's cave. There I meet the sage Sada, who gives me a staff that can get me past that stone slab. I return to the Cavern of Earth and proceed deeper, earning a trophy for obtaining 100,000 gil before eventually finding the Earth Crystal and the vampire that I beat earlier, who transforms into the Lich, one of the 4 fiends that are stopping the crystal's power. I make swift work of the Lich and restore the power to the Earth Crystal and earn myself a trophy. I then make my way to the east side of the map where I find the town of Crescent Lake, where I find the sage Lucan, the giver of the prophecy about the Warriors of Light, and obtain a canoe which allows me to travel on rivers. I take the river north and enter Mount Gulg, where I find the fire crystal guarded by Marilith, whom I was too weak to fight. After some grinding, I return to challenge Marilith once more and manage to defeat her. I restore the fire crystal and gain another trophy. I then take the canoe farther north to the Cavern of Ice, where I earn a trophy from completing 50% of the bestiary entries, and find a Levistone. I keep exploring and find a desert where the Levistone reacts and brings an airship out of the sand, giving me the ability to reach the northern continents. I take the airship and find a place called the Citadel of Trials, where I fight through a maze and obtain a rat's tail. I then go to the archipelago that houses the Dragon Caves and find Bahamut, who takes my rat's tail and upgrades my character's classes, earning me a trophy. My warrior becomes a knight, my monk becomes a master, and my mages become wizards. I then head west to find a town named Onrak, where I learn of the ancient race of sky people, before finding the Waterfall Cavern, which contains a warp cube. I then find a town named Gaia, where I learn that someone abducted a fairy from the local spring. I find my way to the desert, where I find a caravan that has the ferry for sale. I bring the ferry back to Gaia and release it, and it gives me the ability to breathe underwater. This allows me to take the submarine from Onrak to the sunken shrine where the water crystal is. This dungeon also has the best musical track in the game. While exploring, I find the Rosetta Stone, which should allow me to understand the language of the Sky People in a town I found earlier where I couldn't understand anyone. I also earn a trophy for opening 50% of the chests. I fight my way through the sunken shrine until I find the water crystal guarded by the Kraken, whom I make light work of, restoring the water crystal and earning another trophy. I brought the Rosetta Stone to Lufenia, where I thought I could use it to understand them, but after slamming my head against the wall for 10 minutes, I had to look up what to do. Apparently there is some bozo NPC in the corner of a town that's never been important for the entire game that I have to bring it to so he can teach me the language. So, after doing that, I returned to Lufenia with my newfound language, and grabbed a chime from them that is needed to open the Mirage Tower in the desert. I go there and fight my way to the top, and use the warp cube I got earlier to travel to the Flying Fortress, where the last crystal is. Here, I earn a trophy for traveling to all map locations, before finding the adamantite ore that the blacksmith needs. I eventually found the Dragon Queen Tiamat guarding the last crystal, and fought a tough battle against her, before restoring the Wind Crystal and earning another trophy. After this, I return to the king, who instructs me to return to the Chaos Shrine to finish off the evil once and for all. There, I use the loot and the restored power of the crystals to travel 2,000 years to the past. This place has the second best music track in the game, being a remix from the Sunken Shrine theme. I fight my way through a gauntlet of the 4 fiends who are corrupting the crystals before coming face to face with Garland, who got sent here after we defeated him at the beginning of the game. He then transforms into Chaos, the final boss of the game, who proceeds to curb stomp me with no difficulty whatsoever. After that loss, I decided to take a break and grind for the remaining trophies before refighting Chaos. First, I bring the adamantite to the blacksmith to obtain Excalibur, the second best weapon in the game behind the Masamune which I found earlier, earning a trophy. Next, I went and opened every treasure chest I missed. Then, I got the trophy for playing the hidden puzzle game, which requires you to sit in your ship, then hold X and spam circle. After that, I went around and finished all of the bestiary entries, and in the process, got level 50 on all party members. The bestiary wasn't that hard, but there is one enemy that only spawns on the top floor of the Flying Fortress with a 0.04% spawn rate, which took hours of grinding to find and kill. After that, all that was left was to defeat Chaos, so with my newly strengthened party, I returned and challenged him once more, and after a long battle, I want to thank you all for watching and ask that if you enjoyed this, leave a like and tap that subscribe button. I stream most of my playthroughs of pretty much everything on Twitch, the link to which is in the description. If you missed that, I post the videos of the larger games I play here on my channel. I am currently working on Alan Wake Remastered, and after that I will be doing either Lies of P or Armored Core 6. The next Final Fantasy game that I'm going to be doing is Final Fantasy VII, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you all again, and I'll see you guys next time.